Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today we're doing the recap from the ESPN card that took place on Thursday, November 16th, and was headlined by Shakur Stevenson and Edwin De Los Santos for the vacant WBC lightweight title, and the co-main, which was the double header kind of title card, saw Emmanuel Navarrete defending his 130-pound title against Robson Conceição in the co-feature. Before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. You guys have got me all the way up to 632 subscribers. I was at like 581 when I asked you guys to help me get to 600 by the end of the year. And now I'm at 632. I honestly think I can get up to 700. So you guys are awesome. Thank you for joining. I hope you're enjoying everything. You can always leave a comment or anything, say anything you want, and let me know. Even if it's negative, I'm all down for that. But this fight, the co-main, we're gonna start with Navarrete and Conceição. I really believe Conceição probably deserved the victory here. It was a very close fight because of the knockdowns. I feel if the knockdowns didn't happen, I have Conceição decisively defeating Navarrete, probably 8 rounds to 4, 9 rounds to 3 in that area. But the 2 knockdowns did happen, and that makes things very significant. So for one of the judges, I think 2 of the judges had it 113 to 113, a draw, which means those 2 judges had Conceição winning 7 rounds to 5. They had him winning 7 rounds, but the 2 rounds that he was knocked down in are scored 10-8 rounds. You lose those 2 points, and now we got a draw out of it. I didn't have a huge problem with it being a draw. I did feel Conceição deserved the victory. But it was much to the way of Andy Ruiz and Luis Ortiz last year. I thought Luis Ortiz outboxed him, but he did suffer the knockdowns, which hurt him, and the bout swung in favor of Andy Ruiz because of that. But I really feel like Conceição was more decisive in his victory and are in the fight, and he probably deserved to win. But at least he lives to breathe another day, and that's the one good thing about that for Conceição, because a lot of people were looking at it as he's 35 now, and this is his 3rd crack at a title, and he's probably going to lose. And I thought he was going to lose. I thought, obviously Navarrete's better than Oscar Valdez, but I also believe that Shakur Stevenson's better than Navarrete. So I felt like it was going to be somewhere in the middle. Like Navarrete was going to have a performance that was a little bit closer. It was closer than Shakur's victory over Conceição, but it was going to be definitely decisive enough to where it wasn't close like Valdez, and it kind of was in a similar way. First half of the fight was dominated by Conceição outside of the knockdown, and then Navarrete turned up the heat in the second half and made it a little bit closer. But again, I still believe Conceição won. I believe he deserves a rematch, and we'll just have to wait and see what goes down there. Then Navarrete definitely disappointing. I know this probably derails his lightweight move, but I think he needs to make good on this fight and rematch with Conceição before moving up. But we'll see. We'll talk about both fighters on their what's next videos next week. But the main event, Shakur Stevenson and Edwin De Los Santos. Definitely not what we were expecting. To be honest, this was one of the worst fights I've ever seen in terms of no action. I know a lot of people want to criticize De Los Santos, and rightfully so. De Los Santos did not go for the victory. He didn't. He stood there. He landed the lowest amount of punches ever recorded by CompuBox. Lowest amount of punches in a championship fight, the lowest amount of punches. And that means I think De Los Santos went into this fight. If you watch the Blood, Sweat, and Tears video on Stevenson versus De Los Santos previous fight, I forget the guy's name, but De Los Santos' trainer said that they wanted to prove in that one that De Los Santos could box as well as slug. And that's why he walked away with a decision win. I really think De Los Santos was going to try to outbox Stevenson here, but Stevenson was hesitant of the power of De Los Santos. And so it was just a very boring game of feinting and really not throwing much. And Stevenson, if you're scoring, he won the fight. But it was just so unspectacular. It really was. It was not a good performance. He should have went for it more. I think he hesitated because of De Los Santos' power. He didn't want to get caught with anything and upended. But this, in a way, is almost a defeat depending on how you look at it, but where he's at. Because he's considered to be one of the best fighters in the world, on the rise. He's a 2-division champ. He's going for a championship in a 3rd weight class. And he's facing a guy that he's a heavy favorite against, and he goes out there and performs like that. I mean, he in my opinion, he absolutely fought scared, and he couldn't make the proper adjustments he needed to make. And I don't want to hear this, it was late in the fight type, or after the fight nonsense of, I wasn't feeling good, all that kind of stuff. Now, I'm splitting that into 2 parts though. One part is understanding, the other part I think is bullshit. Start with the bullshit first. Stevenson knew during the fight that he was underwhelming everybody because he started to look around as he's sitting in his corner in between rounds, hearing the boos. So right then and there, turn the fucking heat up. And he decided not to. But after the fight, the understanding part I have is that Stevenson knew it was a shitty performance. And I think he's going to deliver the next time out. I think he's very conscientious of what the fans want, and he didn't deliver, and I think he knows he didn't deliver, and there's no excuses, and I think he's going to come back strong in his, next time out. Edwin De Los Santos, in my opinion, though, does not deserve a title shot anytime soon because he didn't go for it either. He essentially was the challenger. Even though both of them were challenging for the vacant belt, De Los Santos is the underdog. He's the guy that has to overperform to an extent to become champion, and he didn't go for it at all. So Stevenson's not fighting or whatever, one, I don't think he was really running the whole fight. I think he was standing right in the pocket and feinting a ton, which means De Los Santos could have been the first to throw punches in that scenario, and he didn't do it. So I think it's just as much fault to De Los Santos. He was in there scared as well, hoping that Stevenson was going to come at him so he could counterpunch and catch him with something, and wasn't willing to take the risk to put his foot on the gas pedal and go for the overall decisive victory. Ugly, boring fight. And I'm definitely going to do a what's next on Shakur Stevenson. He is the new WBC lightweight champion. De Los Santos is not going to be so lucky. He's not getting a what's next video. He wasn't ranked in my top 10 coming into this fight. And this kind of performance absolutely means he's not in the top 10. Hope he bounces back, because at his best, he's an entertaining, exciting guy. He just wasn't on this night. But Shakur Stevenson, we will discuss his options and talk about his what's next next week. So that's it. That's what I got. That's my recap from the Stevenson versus De Los Santos and Navarrete versus Conceição ESPN doubleheader that was on Thursday, November 16th. On ESPN. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.